Tonight's episode is sponsored by Mountain Sea Blast, coming soon to schools near you.
While there's some hustle and bustle going on about the encampment. There are various people using various crystals and divining rods and all sorts of new age tricks and doodads to examine the crazy old man who is currently being held down by a collection of vines provided by the person you believe is the leader, Titania. Are you going to be waiting inside of the tent? Are you going to be wandering around? They don't seem like they're specifically corralling you, but they do look like they're trying to be hospitable.
Well, bro, I'm totally faithful that, they've got this. They're apparently really old, because Titania said she totes knew other people from that round table. So, if she knows what she's doing, then she knows what she's doing. Because if she don't know what she's doing, then, whoa, man.
Well, gentlemen, I'm feeling as though we have ourselves come into a situation that, while not beyond our capabilities, is certainly out of the realm of any legal knowledge any of us may possess. However, I do feel as if we could gather some information about what it is our friend the Seagull Man stands accused of. We might be able to help him. I understand that ultimately it will be the decision of these people, and while I might not agree with that, I'm not really in a position at the moment to affect change outside of diplomacy.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, if there's something we can do to help, sure, I'll I'll help. That's the thing.
We can all stand as character witness at the least.
That is very true, Osmond. We can certainly at least relate our encounter with our friend over there and where we think his wherewithal might be or may have been. Perhaps it would be useful if we talked to some of the other campers to determine what they know about the situation and what they may have seen or heard. In this instance, I would look to the guidance of our trained detective.
Well, since, that's me, I guess, let's head outside the tent and go ask some quick questions. Like to this guy over here, who looked like a hipster. What's up, man?
Oh, hey guys. I don't remember the voice, but I feel like it was somewhere around here.
Cool. Remembering your voice it's a really important task. So,
Yeah, so was listening to the podcast before we recorded a new episode, but I couldn't do that this week, so...
Drats.
So, yeah, I mean, this'll have to do, I guess.
Yeah, man. So, is this Bob, then? Because,
Yeah, Bob.
All right, cool. Yeah, it sounds like Bob. That's what I thought, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, so, hey, Bob. What's up with Seagull Dude?
Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, bro, that's cool, man. I'm Ebbs. This is Flo. This is Osmond. Nope. This is O'Malley.
There we go.
Yeah,
sorry.
I was expecting a third name that kind of fit the theme. Maybe Hustle? Can we call you Hustle?
I'd prefer it if you didn't.
Ebbs, Hustle, and Flo.
Flo Malley. Ebbs Flo Malley. I like it.
Don't give him ideas.
Yeah, Ebbs, Flo, and O'Malley. Ebbs Flomily. Anyway, man. So, what's up with the Seagull Dude? Speaking of the Seagull Dude, what's his name?
Yeah, that's Barty Russo.
Whoa.
He's been around here long as I can remember. He scratches his beard as he's reminiscing a little bit. was always a friendly guy, just like the birds he works with. But over the past couple months, he's starting to been losing it. There have been seagulls attacking people, and there's rumors he's been robbing stores.
Like, did he lose his job?
He's never had a job as far as I've known, other than, keeping the shorelines under watch.
But you say that recently the seagulls have been attacking people? We had noticed an increase in their presence in certain areas of the city, but we hadn't seen any harm come to anyone from them. They were mostly just doing what seagulls do.
And what's that?
Wandering around and eating scraps and refuse.
Whatever a rodent would do if it could grow wings and fly.
Sneak into a cheese factory?
Oh, I like cheese. If I were a bird, I'd sneak into one.
I do recall the distinct scent of cheddar cheese whilst within the boat.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know all of the specifics. I generally work security for this kind of gig, so I don't always read all the briefings like I should. Let me check with Emily. Hey, Emily. And this crunchy granola-looking girl comes out from a nearby tent. Yeah, Bob? Yeah, these guys, they're looking for some info on what's going on here. Oh, yeah, for sure. So, Mr. Seagull Man has, he started going a little bit crazy. And we've had reports that he's been using his birds to help him attack small businesses in the area.
Was there any commonality to the businesses he was attacking, or was it just
mostly
random?
Convenience stores, some restaurants.
And did he take anything, or was it just violence for violence sake?
The cash has usually gone missing, but it's largely been destruction of property. Wasn't entirely that big of an issue until, recently, he killed some delivery drivers.
Delivery drivers?
Delivery drivers.
And you have first-hand accounts of our friend directing the seagulls to kill the delivery drivers?
Well, generally, seagulls don't tear folks apart like that.
I don't know, man. That's kind of wild. There's a lot of seagulls, so, I don't think there'd be any witnesses left. So, I don't know if Seagull Man could have done it.
Oh, there's videotape of the attack.
Do you have the videotape?
She pulls out a smartphone and she starts pushing buttons. No, I don't have any reception here. Hold on. And she heads back into the tent. You hear her briefly argue with what sounds to be a couple of children, and then comes back out with a tablet. I've got it downloaded here. And she hands you the tablet.
Cool, man. I play the video.
The video quite clearly shows a delivery truck come to a full, complete stop at a red light. And then what seems like hundreds of seagulls swarm, crashing in through the side windows and fill the cab of the truck. More begin to attack the trailer, as if they're trying to get into it.
Is there labeling on the truck?
Roll to investigate a mystery.
I will roll to investigate that mystery. So, looking at this, I have a 6 and a 2, which is an 8, and I investigate a mystery with my sharp of 1, so that's a 9.
Well, that's going to give you a hold 1, which is 1 question.
from the list of questions, I will ask, what is being concealed here?
Looking carefully, you're able to see the last 4 letters of the company's name. B-O-R-S.
B-O-R-S?
B-O-R-S. That's the only letters you can make out because of the angle of the camera. The last 4.
Cool.
But Boars? Wait, who would make a company and call it Boars? Boars just reminds me of the...
Sir Osmond, I'm almost entirely certain that if the rest of that logo was not obstructed by vicious seagulls, it would say Blue Harbor's Bottling Company. I wonder if our friend out there may or may not be attempting to stop the distribution of Mountain Sea Blast.
There's a flush of relief on my face. Oh, well, yes, verily so. Then in that case he is to be commended.
Yeah, man, totally. But, like, what if he's having a bad trip, man? You know, and that stuff makes you want more of it. Like, you know, the Shark Man went after the yacht that probably had some on there, and then the sand thing went after the restaurant that, you know, had some poured out back. So, like, what if something happens and he got some and, like, he needed more?
Yes, unfortunately, that may also be the case.
I can verily confirm that it is quite difficult to do battle against this vile ichor without having some of it land upon your person. I, for one, am protected by my suit of armor. I do not believe any of the fine druids here have such amenities at their disposal.
Yeah, well, you know, we could, like, you know, totes, why don't we give this stuff to, who do we give this stuff to, guys?
Well, it might be worth our time to see if we can go speak to our seagull friend in person. And with that, I'm going to start walking over towards where he's restrained in vines.
Cool.
I linger for a moment longer looking at the final frame of the video on the tablet before following my companions.
But a moment later, you are near the center of the circle of tents, where the man identified to you as Barty Russo is strapped to the ground by various large vines. There is one coming up and around his mouth to prevent him from speaking. And what tattered remains of his shirt were there once have been pulled off, where there are 2 people you recognize, actually. The mother and daughter who were staying at the bed and breakfast with you. They are painting little tiny glyphs upon his torso with paintbrushes and using some sort of whitish-greenish substance out of small clay pestles.
Good evening, ladies. I hate to bother you, but would it be possible for us to have a word with the prisoner momentarily? You are more than welcome to stay and observe.
That would not be smart.
May I ask why it wouldn't be smart?
The younger of the 2 stands up and looks directly at you. If we were to let him speak, he would be able to summon words of power or call his familiars to him. It would put us in quite a dangerous position.
Perhaps if you could afford him just the freedom to nod or shake his head in that case, and we can restrict our questions to yes or no answers.
I doubt that he is capable of such communications.
So, like, what do you think's wrong with him? Because, you know, that's pretty tied up.
He is quite the powerful one. If we were to give him any freedom, then he would surely escape.
Oh.
Well, certainly when he faces his accusers, he'll be allowed to speak, no?
I believe you are mistaken as to what is happening here.
Well, we were told that he was to be tried for his potential crimes.
He is to be tried for his very existence. He is not what he once was. And if he is truly as we believe, there is nothing left to try. There is only a breach to seal.
So, like, how do you try for someone's life?
We are first to discover if he still is someone.
Whoa. That makes sense. And then, like, you know, if he's somebody, like, do you fix him? Or, you know.
If he is indeed still who he was, then we will do what we can.
And, you know, when does the trial start?
It is already happening.
Already happening?
Hang on, I forgot something about the tent. And I run away while you guys do your thing.
Who is conducting the trial? Is it the Lady Titania?
I have been brought in to examine what remains of his essence. There are others who will do their own examinations, but as it stands, I believe we have already lost him.
What leads you to that conclusion, if I may ask?
If you like, I could take the next several years to explain to you enough of the basics of soul working that you might understand my response. But to put it in words you might be able to follow, something is eating away at him, at who he is.
Then he is the victim of a curse. A foul hex cast upon his very being.
Not everything is quite so simple, young Sir Knight.
We believe that we may have some knowledge of what might be troubling this poor man. We have ourselves, as a group, encountered several things that have been corrupted through the consumption of a cola product known as Mountain Sea Blast. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
If you think a cola could do this to someone, then I do not believe you truly understand the gravity of the situation.
I mean you no disrespect, madam, but it may be the fact that you do not grasp the full situation of the cola.
Do you recall, when I spoke out earlier, all of the beasts I claimed to defeat? We thoroughly investigated and found the root cause to be directly connected to this foul ichor.
Are you suggesting that this foul ichor could have sprung itself unbidden into one of the greatest masters of his generation?
I can but confirm that one of the last actions he seems to have been able to do was stop this ichor from being transported.
All right, man, I come run back over real quick because now I've got my barrister's outfit on. You know, my black robe with a little white dealie in the front and the curly dilly hair. All right, trial time, man. What'd I miss?
You have missed your companions, providing irrelevant information.
Oh.
I am here to measure what is left of him. If you wish to argue for clemency, your words are wasted here.
So, like, who do we argue for clemency from then?
What compels us, madam, to speak in this man's favor is that we encountered him not more than 3 days ago. And while he did seem to be trying to take refuge, perhaps from his own community that was trying to hunt him down, he did not seem aggressive. When a misunderstanding occurred that caused Sir Osmond here to briefly be captured by him, I was able to convince him to return the night to us unharmed. Additionally, we sat and broke bread with him, and while it was clear that he was perturbed, he did not seem violent towards us, nor did he conduct himself in a threatening manner. As such, it is difficult for us to believe that his essence is beyond the point of salvation. Surely, the light of the Lord can be the salvation for us all.
Her eyes narrow. Your silly beliefs aside, I am simply here to measure what is left. I am no more than measuring the coffin.
Well, if you've been taking your measurements, can you at least tell us if you believe his essence remains, or has he become some darkling to be removed from existence?
I have only just begun. The older woman kneeling by Barty stands up. Grandmother, we need to move on to the next step. If you'll excuse me, my skills are needed.
But one question more, if I may request it. Is his act of taking the life of an innocent person part of his condemnation here?
Life begets death. It is the circle.
My expression sours.
She then turns and once again kneels by Barty Russo, continuing her ritual.
Well, that doesn't sound like a very innocent verdict, man. So, we're going to have to find out who to go to next. We talked to Bob, and we talked to Emily, and we just talked to Grandma. Where's the feather chick?
Oh, now, Ebbs, I'm not certain that she's going to want to talk to us, especially after all that transpired earlier in the evening.
Well, look, man, if she wants to hold a grudge, she can hold a grudge. That's cool, But, it's prudent to go ahead and talk to her, because she seems to be the one that, instigated this. So, got to make sure that, cover our bases.
When we broke off earlier, I do believe she went into that large camper over there with the generator up, and I have not seen her return since. We could wander over there and knock on her door and see if she is willing to speak to us.
Okay. And I wander over and I knock on her door. Knock, knock, parlay. Party? Parlay? Parallelogram. I don't know. Knock, knock, truce.
A minute later, the tent flap is angrily thrown open. What do you want?
Oh, hey, we just wanted to ask some questions about Bird Dude, make sure he's cool. Because, I'm getting the vibe that nobody wants to help him, that they just want to, clean up this mess and turn around and walk away. And that's not cool, because, he was a cool dude. And, you're the next person on the list, so what's up?
I don't have any idea who he is or how cool he might be.
Oh, well, he's a cool dude.
Were you friends?
We met him once, and, he was really scared, and then, he took my friend. But, we talked him into giving him back, and then, we went out and got some food, and we sat down, we ate, And like, and then the big scary bird came and took my boat, and he was inside of it. So like, now we're here, because he was a cool dude. And you had my boat.
If I give it back, will you leave?
I mean, are you kicking me out? Are we not friends?
Let's see. You stormed into our convention. You demanded answers for things that don't involve you. You're harassing our leaders, and you're trying to convince us to let a corrupted, foul beast free upon the land. I'm not sure how you think that makes us friends.
My dear, I must apologize for young Trevor's approach to this situation. Certainly he is notorious for trying to see the best in all people. But what has happened, at least from your point of view, is not entirely how we view things. We came here, yes, seeking Trevor's boat, but also attempting to find the Seagull Man, because we were concerned that he might come to harm. We had parleyed with him mere moments before he was abducted, and though it is true that he may have seemed cagey, he certainly did not attack us, nor cause us violence. Additionally, as we've spoken with others in your camp and come to learn things and seen the footage of at least one of his attacks, we believe that his actions may be related to a series of events that have occurred around our lives involving a cola product known as Mountain Sea Blast, which we know from empirical evidence has a corrupting effect and may either have caused the man to be so corrupted, or it is also possible that he was aware of its corrupting ability and was trying to prevent the masses from its consumption. In either case, I think it's worth hearing what we have to say before a decision is made to end the life of a man who may not have meant any harm.
She walks over and looks up at you. How tall are you?
I believe I am 6'4". 6'4".
She comes up maybe to the bottom of your rib cage, but she firmly plants a finger in the center of your chest. Listen here, And her words are cut off by the screaming.
Hey everybody, we just wanted to take a minute and thank you for listening. It's been a wild ride, and we're real excited to see where this is all going to go. We've got new episodes coming out every Monday, available from your favorite podcast services like iTunes, Spotify, Listen Notes, Podcast Addict, and Podbean. So tell a friend, help us get the word out now, because we're only just getting started. And now, back to the show.
So there was screaming?
There was screaming.
Looking around, what do we see?
Rolled a really bad situation.
That's a 3 and a 1 on the dice. Plus my sharp of 1 is 5. 5.
5. Mark an experience point.
On it.
You turn around and look around, and you see people running and screaming. And those things from the other day are coming. They're tearing through tents. One of them grabs the older-looking woman who was examining the old man and begins dragging her into the woods.
Those things aren't part of your flock?
By the time you turn around to say this, she is screaming and running herself.
So, I've got this move that I haven't used because they make you roll for it, but I'm really good at acting it out. and it's called Often Overlooked. When I act all crazy to avoid something, I roll plus weird. On a 10 plus, I get regarded as unthreatening and unimportant. On a 7 to 9, I pick one, unthreatening or unimportant. And on a miss, I draw lots, but not all, of the attention. So, I'm actually going to use the move this time, and, act all crazy.
Let's see what happens.
So, that's a 5 and a 2, plus my weird of 1 for an 8. So I get to pick one. I am unthreatening.
So you definitely appear unthreatening in your barrister's wig.
Haha! Cool, man.
But you feel as though you may be recognized as a figure of some importance.
I bet it's the barrister's robe. Oh well. I'm going to roll Barty, the seagull dude, because he's tied up and he can't defend himself.
Okay.
And then I take a defensive position.
That's all you're going to do?
I take my rope out too, because it's got a lasso at the end still.
Okay.
Osmond, we need to save that woman. And then I'm going to take off.
Shit, there was a woman being carried away.
Towards the woman who's being dragged into the woods.
I was waiting for the opportunity to say the exact same thing from my perspective. But yes, I also chase off in the direction of the woman being dragged away, and I only have my shield drawn, as my weapons in previous encounters were not very successful.
Okay, the two of you dash off after this thing. And as you reach the tree line, you see it stopping just beyond what would be easy line of sight from the camp itself. It forms massive blade-like claws on one of its forelimbs and begins to swing down at her.
Is it possible that I can interpose my shield between those blades in time?
Well, that sounds like you're trying to do a move.
I would very much like to protect this woman.
Then roll to protect someone.
Oh, God. So 1 and a 2 is 3. Plus my tough of 3 is 6.
Is that all?
Yes.
No one else want to do anything about that?
Since Osmond and I are keeping pace, can I try to help him get where he needs to be by shoving him forward or something?
Oh, you can also just help him block the creature with a roll to help out.
All right, I will roll to help out. All right, that's 5 and a 3, which is an 8. Plus my cool of 0 is an 8.
Okay, so you're able to provide a +1, but you also put yourself in harm's way. So you are able to definitely interpose between this creature and the woman screaming on the ground, but the two of you are each going to take 3 points of harm from this thing's bladed nastiness lashing out.
I'm going to expend a point of luck to reduce that to 0.
I am going to... If I remember correctly, this creature ignores the defensive value from my armor, but not my shield.
Hey, quick question. Since the last time we were in a fight, poor Father O'Malley was nearly dead. Some time passed. Did you heal at all?
It hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
Look, could you just, get on that?
When I have a moment, yes.
I don't know, just will it, bro. Be like, ooh, fixed.
This is not armor defeating damage. This thing's very large, very bladed claws are currently being blocked by your armor and your shield.
Okay, in that case, with my point of armor from my physical bodysuit of armor, my point from my shield, and my warrior move, in which I would suffer less harm against such a weapon, I believe I take 0 harm.
So the two of you leap in front of this and try to take the creature away from her, and your shield fits neatly into this thing's palm, and the blades can't quite reach around far enough to actually get through to deal you damage. Father O'Malley, you are almost impaled by this thing as it drives you backwards, but right before you are slashed in half, the blades make contact with a tree and get stuck in it momentarily.
From where I am, do I have the opportunity to reach out and grab the woman's hand and start running back the other way with her?
You could, but it wouldn't involve you turning your back to this thing.
At the moment, I care more about trying to get her out than necessarily what this thing's claws can do to me.
Then I'd like you to roll to protect someone.
All right, so a 5 and a 3 is an 8, plus my tough of 2 is a 10.
With a 10, you get to choose an additional effect.
I will take less harm.
So as you turn and run from this thing, scooping up the woman in your arms, it swings at your back. That will be 2 harm.
All right.
Would it be possible to interpose myself again to prevent the harm to Father O'Malley?
Roll to protect yourself. I'm sorry, roll to protect someone, not yourself.
Let's see. Well, that is 2 and a 4 makes 6, plus my tough of 3 makes 4, 9.
So you are able to step in front and take the damage instead. I believe that 2 harm glances off of your shield.
Indeed it does.
With a mighty swing and a step, you completely interpose yourself. This thing cannot get around you to get at the father and the woman he is saving.
Your villainy ends today!
Ebbs.
Yeah, dude. Is the older woman that we thought the mother still here with me? Or is that who Father O'Malley just rescued?
That was the one that was dragged away, was the one that looked older.
Oh, okay. I took that as the opposite way then. So then the grandmother is still here with me?
Yes.
Like, what the hell are these things, and how do we keep this dude safe?
These are skinwalkers. I do not believe there is a way to protect him from them. They are immune to our magic. They are immune to weapons. I do not know what we can do to stop them.
What if we get in the boat and have the bird take us away?
Fleeing does seem like the only way to go.
Yeah, I vote that we start getting people routed up inside this boat and then call the big bird back and then, totes get outs.
Agreed.
All right.
I will begin restoring the structure of the boat that it might survive the journey.
I start running across the battlefield, telling peeps to head for the boat.
Roll to act under pressure.
Can do. That is a 6 and a 1 for a 7, and my act under pressure is a 1 for an 8.
So what exactly are you screaming out?
Safety in the boat, dudes! Let's get to the boat! Over and over again.
Okay. So many people hear this and are listening to you and heading towards the boat. Not everyone, though. A lot of people don't know you from a hole in the wall, and they are much happier following their own plan of escape. Some people, it looks like, don't necessarily have an easy way out. For example, Bob's tent. The creature is encroaching on it. And you are pretty sure there are still people inside.
I will lasso the creature, because I feel like Bob would also help get people to the boat, if I could at least help Bob. So, come here, Skinwalker, with my lasso.
I would like you to roll to act under pressure.
Okay. As a 5 and a 3 for an 8 plus a 1 on my cool for a 9.
Okay, you throw your lasso, you wrap it around the thing, and you pull it tight. It hisses through its weird lipless mouth. Then it grabs the rope and yanks on it.
Oh.
It is tugging incredibly hard. What would you like to do?
I run to the side so as to, get pulled, but, keep momentum, and try to, clothesline a tree with it, so as also to ensure that he can't yank me away. Unless he can uproot a tree, at which point, then I'm going to run for my life.
Okay, so roll to act under pressure.
Okay. And that is a 5 and a 4 for a 9 plus my 1 of a 10.
Okay, so you are able to jump around a tree and brace yourself for impact. It yanks, and the tree definitely does lurch a little bit. You weren't able to find an enormous tree.
No, but hey, tree's a tree, man.
and it does not appear to be yanking you any further. The leverage from the pulley of the tree is assisting you.
Could I mimic that whistle that called all the beasts away before?
It's something you could try, you suppose.
I'll try that.
Roll to act under pressure.
Boxcars.
Sir Osmond,
Yes.
the creature slavering to get around your shield, starting to make some progress as the shield starts to buckle under its strength. When suddenly it stops and stares at you vacantly for a moment before turning and running back towards the center of camp, loping along on all fours.
No. And I follow it.
The creature struggling at the other end of the rope, Trevor, stops fighting and then begins heading directly towards you.
Well, I whistled because I believed that the whistle, would signal friend to the thing. So I feel a tad more confident that it's not going to gobble me whole and stand my ground.
The thing runs right up to you, and I need you to roll to act under pressure.
Oh dear. That's a 6 and a 5, dude. Plus a 1.
So this thing slides to a stop directly in front of you and just gazes at you with empty, eyeless sockets. But it does stop.
Okay. I'm going to wait and see how many of them show up.
Judging from the breath on the back of your neck, there is a second one.
Oh dear. Well, there were only 2 before. So I'm going to go with the number 2.
Osmond, you are catching up and seeing young Trevor Ebbs standing between 2 of these things.
My speed increases briefly, but then I slow down when I see he's not being attacked by them.
Father O'Malley, you arrive back on the scene, half carrying the woman you have just rescued.
I've returned to the side of the grandmother, or the grandmother's repairing the boat, right?
Yes, she is using some sort of magic, and you're seeing the cracked hull. It's not necessarily being repaired so much as there's wooden growth happening inside the cracks of the fiberglass boat.
I'll set the woman down and tell her that she should help her grandmother with whatever the plan might be. Am I seeing Trevor and the 2 beasts? Is that visible from where I am?
Yes, it is.
Ebbs, do you have your phone on you?
I shakily nod.
Record the whistle again, and then throw the phone into the woods. And then I more or less collapse.
I do that.
Roll to act under pressure again.
Oh dear. Well, 2 and a 2 is a 5. I mean a 4, but my plus 1 makes it a 5. So
The whistle sounds different this time. And there's an immediate shift in the creatures, and their demeanor changes. And they both dash towards nearby tents, leaping on fleeing people.
I sprint to the nearest one to once again interpose myself, push it back, keep it away.
Roll to protect someone.
Oh boy. 2 and 3 is 5, plus my 3 makes it an 8.
So, with an 8, you shoulder tackle this creature, but there's already so much blood. The druid that it attacked, his arm is mostly torn off at the shoulder. He is still alive, but this creature did get to him before you did.
is the other one still attached to my lasso? So like it could have been stopped?
Theoretically, except you had your phone in one hand.
Yes.
So It is still tied to this lasso, but you are not holding the other end.
Ah. Then I make a grab for it. Because I'm not going to catch the beast, but,
Roll to protect someone.
And that is tough. And my 5 and a 3 is 8, and my tough of 0 makes it an 8.
So you grab back onto the other end of that rope, and it starts dragging you. You slam into the tree and make it maybe 10 feet before you're able to stabilize yourself and get a good grip. The creature didn't quite get to its target, but you did take 2 harm from being dragged and bashed around.
Okay. My resilience of 1 will make that 1 harm. That will put me back in the area of instability. Cool beans. How's it looking for people getting to the boat?
There's a lot of people at the boat.
Yay!
It's hard to say, but a quick guesstimate puts maybe half of the people here at the boat. The rest spread between people fleeing in every direction and people on the ground, bleeding. The last group heading towards the boat, it appears to be Emily and 2 young children. The creature on your rope, realizing it doesn't have enough give, begins chasing towards them.
I yank back for its attention. Because,
Roll to protect someone.
we're doing that. And that's 6 and 4. And my tough of 0 still leaves it as a 10.
So with a 10, you yank, and it stops and turns back to you. And it leaps at you. Take 3 harm as it collides with you.
My armor makes that down to 2. And, yeah, I'm not dead yet.
You rolled a 10 plus.
Oh, and I could take -1 harm, couldn't I? Yeah.
Yes, you could.
What a dude. All right. So, I take 1 harm.
Yeah, so this thing is back on top of you, gnashing its teeth and snarling, trying to tear you into pieces. Father O'Malley.
All right, so most of the people who are going to be at the boat now, with the exception of my 2 compatriots, are at the boat.
Yes. At this point, Grandma has come over and is trying to help you to your feet.
Thank you.
Quickly, we must go before they get to us.
All right. At this point, I'm just going to shout out, Osmond, Ebbs, get in the boat. And then I'm going to, against my own better judgment, but it being the only thing I have strength left to do, attempt to mimic the whistle another time.
Roll to act under pressure.
So, that is going to be a 5 and a 2 is 7, plus my cool of 0 is a 7.
The creatures do not begin sprinting towards you, but they do stop, confused for half a moment.
Now, gentlemen, now, and then I'm going to amscray into the boat.
I pick up the man with 1 arm, who I assume is still roiling in pain on the ground, and I will carry him towards the boat.
Roll to act under pressure.
Oh, 2 and 2 is 4, plus a cool of 0.
You grab him under his good arm and begin running towards the boat. And your adrenaline carries you through to the end. You get there, and you stop, and you realize not all of him made it.
When I look around, do I see everyone who could have made it to the boat has made it?
We're not entirely sure. Ebbs.
I kick sweep one of the legs out from under this dude that's on top of me, so it takes his weight off his body, and then roll him to the side, so I'm on top. And then use that momentum to kind of cartwheel to my feet and sprint for the boat.
Act under pressure.
1 and a 4 is a 5. And my act under pressure is cool for a 1, making a 6.
You are tangled up with this thing. There is no way you feel as though you'll be able to escape.
I needed the XP anyway.
Sir Osmond, Ebbs is still wrestling that monster.
I'm going to tackle the monster off of him, shield first.
Roll to protect someone.
Three plus 3 is 6, plus my tough of 3 for 9.
You take this creature off of him, and you take 3 harm.
Okay, unless spoken otherwise, all of my defensive capabilities reduce that to 0.
So, you are now tangled up with this thing in Ebbs's place. What do you got, Ebbs? You hear the flapping of metallic wings.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I tied this rope off to the tree that's still tied around this beast because, I don't want to, yank it along with me. And then, let's go. Let's go, Flo. Time to go once it's tied off.
Roll to act under pressure.
A 5 and a 3 is an 8. And a cool of 1 makes it a 9.
So, with a 9, you can get this thing tied off and maybe make the boat, or you can leave it untied and definitely get to the boat.
Oh, no, I'm definitely going to tie it off then, because if I maybe make it to the boat and Flo's behind me, that means he won't make it to the boat, which would defeat the purpose of not doing what I want to do. So, we're going to maybe make it together, or we're not going to make it at all.
You've got him tied off.
James, is the Lady Titania on the boat?
You do not see Titania on the boat.
Are any of you here capable of creating a strong vine?
At this point, the boat lurches as the bird sinks its talons in and begins to lift. The woman you saved, looking at you with admiration, says, "Grandma is capable of doing so, but she's holding the boat together."
I need something to throw to my friends. They're not going to be able to reach the boat, but if they can hang, I'm sure they can climb.
While I'm in this scuffle with this creature still, but it has the rope tied around it, can I make a run towards the boat as the giant condor is descending and see whether or not it still has the lasso around its neck from our previous encounter?
Roll to read a bad situation.
Okay, so 3 and 3 make 6, and my sharp of 1 turns that into a 7.
That gives you a hold 1. You may ask one question.
What's my best way in?
That rope is indeed dangling still.
I'm going for that rope instead of the boat.
Roll to act under pressure.
A 4 and a 3. Plus my cool of 0 make for an even 7.
With an even 7, you run, you leap, and you grab onto the rope. And then you feel something grab onto your leg. Trevor, what do you got?
Hopefully the bottom of his leg.
The creature that he wasn't grappling
all right.
chased after and leaped up and grabbed a hold of him. There is still more rope to grab onto if you'd like to try that. If you've got a different idea, feel free to try something.
Yeah, man. I can totes grab the rope and hang on. And once I feel I've got a grip, perhaps then I can shoot the beast. But
So you're going to go try to grab the rope?
yeah, absolutely, bro.
Act under pressure.
All right, man. Cool. Well, a 1 and a 4 makes for a 5. And my act under pressure is a 1 for a 6.
So, with a final burst of energy, you sprint and leap for the rope as it passes past the edge of the peak, and your fingers close on empty air.